Something is happening to the fast food industry right now that nobody at corporate headquarters wants to say out loud. Drive-through lanes that once represented cheap, honest convenience are sitting dead and silent. In 2026, household names that we have known for decades are collapsing. They aren't falling apart because of one bad quarter.
Number 10 is Subway. Subway has more locations than any other restaurant chain on the planet. More than McDonald's, more than Starbucks, more than anyone. And in 2026, that size is becoming its biggest liability rather than its biggest advantage. The franchise model has been under enormous strain for years. Individual franchisee profitability has collapsed in market after market. The gap between what corporate earns from royalties and what store owners actually take home has created a civil war inside the brand. Franchisees in multiple countries have pushed back, organized, and in some cases walked away entirely. Thousands of Subway locations have already closed, quietly, without announcements, without farewell signs, just shutters and a dark window where a sandwich shop used to be. The sandwich itself has also become a cultural afterthought. The footlong is no longer a deal when it costs $11 to $14. The ingredients quality has never been the selling point of Subway, but when the price can no longer defend itself, the quality question gets very loud, very fast. Social media has not been kind. Subway bread faced literal legal challenges over its sugar content in some countries. The tuna situation generated headlines that no chain ever wants to generate, and the endless cycle of promotions and limited time offers feels desperate rather than exciting. A fully loaded footlong with all the extras can push past 1,000 calories with sodium levels that should come with a warning label. Not exactly the fresh and healthy positioning the brand has been selling for 3 decades. Subway is not dying in one dramatic moment. It is hollowing out from the inside, store by store, franchisee by franchisee, and 2026 is when that hollowing becomes impossible to ignore. Wings. Beer, 30 screens, a table full of people who all showed up for the same game. It was loud and greasy and completely satisfying in that specific way. But heading into 2026, BWW is dealing with problems on multiple fronts. The parent company Inspire Brands has been managing serious debt loads. Individual locations have been closing, and the brand is fighting the single most brutal trend in the wing world: price. Chicken wings became an expensive commodity during the supply disruptions of the early 2020s, and prices never fully came back down. What used to feel like affordable bar food now costs $30 to $40 for a shareable order. At that price, people start making different choices. They order pizza, they stay home. They go to a local sports bar that does not have a corporate overhead attached to every basket of fries. The quality narrative around BWW has also gotten messy. The wings themselves have faced consistent criticism for inconsistency. The sauce lineup that used to feel exciting now feels like a wall of options that mostly taste the same at different heat levels. A full order of traditional wings with a couple of sauces and a side can easily land you at 2,000 calories and more sodium than you are supposed to have in 2 full days. The sports bar experience is not going away, but BWW is no longer the automatic answer when you want it. And the moment you stop being automatic, you start being optional. Optional is a very dangerous place to be. IHOP briefly tried to rebrand as IHOB to promote burgers, which went about as well as you would expect for a place built entirely on pancake identity. The stunt got attention, it got memes, it got think pieces, it got absolutely no lasting traffic. More recently, the parent company Dine Brands has been dealing with serious financial pressure across its entire portfolio. Franchisees are struggling. Rising food and labor costs are squeezing locations that were already operating on the thinnest margins in the industry. And here is the deeper problem with IHOP in 2026. The all-day breakfast concept, which felt genuinely fresh when IHOP leaned into it, is now everywhere. McDonald's does it, fast casual spots do it, your local diner does it better and cheaper. IHOP is no longer the unique thing it once was. It is a mid-price sit-down restaurant in a world where mid-price sit-down restaurants are having a full reckoning. Those stacks of fluffy pancakes loaded with syrup and whipped cream come in at 900 to 1,200 calories before you even consider the side of bacon. Not ideal for a generation paying more attention to what they eat than any generation before them. IHOP needs a reason to exist beyond nostalgia, and right now in 2026, it does not quite have one. The lunch buffet, the red and white checkered tablecloths, the birthday party room, the personal pan pizza that felt like a genuine reward. That Pizza Hut is essentially extinct. The dine-in model barely exists anymore, and the locations still hanging on are in genuine trouble. The pizza delivery and carry-out model is under brutal pressure from every direction. Local pizzerias, Domino's and its technology advantage, third-party apps that let you order from anywhere, frozen pizza that has gotten legitimately good. The locations that still have dining rooms are almost universally underperforming. Pizza Hut's parent company Yum Brands has been aggressively shutting down dine-in units for years, converting or closing hundreds of them. The result is a brand that used to mean a specific thing and now means almost nothing in particular, a delivery option you consider, and then probably skip for something faster or cheaper. A full order with stuffed crust and extra toppings for a family of 4 can now hit $40 to $50 and calorie counts that make a fast food burger look restrained. Pizza Hut is not gone, but the version of it that made people actually want to go there, the experience, the occasion, the reason, that is already dead. What is left is just expensive pizza. Number 6 is Chili's. Chili's has actually had some positive press recently, leaning into value messaging. Social media moments, a few good quarters. Do not let that fool you. One viral campaign cannot reverse structural problems that have been building for years. Parent company Brinker International has been dealing with long-term headwinds that no amount of good marketing can fully outrun. The debt load is significant. The store base is aging. The menu is an endless scroll of appetizers and entrees and combination plates that tries to be everything and occasionally nails nothing. The Chili's model depends on volume. People have to come in frequently for it to work. And the demographic most likely to visit Chili's regularly is the same demographic cutting back most aggressively on eating out right now. Queso and chips, a full rack of ribs, a couple of sodas, dessert. You are looking at a meal that is heavy in saturated fat, refined carbs, and sodium levels that will make you drink water for the rest of the evening. Chili's is fighting, but fighting and winning are two completely different things. And right now, in 2026, one good quarter does not change where this is heading. Number 5 is Denny's. Denny's has been part of American life for over 70 years. Open 24 hours, 7 days a week, holidays included, the Grand Slam breakfast, pancakes at 2 in the morning. It was the diner that never closed and never judged you for showing up in whatever condition you were in. For a very long time, that was enough. But heading into 2026, Denny's is shrinking at a pace that should alarm anyone paying attention. The company has already flagged the closure of hundreds of underperforming locations. Entire markets are being quietly exited, and then came the sale. Denny's sold itself to Tri-Artisan Capital Advisors for $620 million. The deal added $335 million in brand new debt to a chain that was already losing ground. Here is the part that should make you stop. Tri-Artisan Capital is the same private equity firm that previously owned TGI Fridays and Hooters, both of which filed for bankruptcy within 2 years of each other. The firm that loaded TGI Fridays with debt until it collapsed. The firm that took $70 million out of Hooters right before it went bankrupt. That exact same firm just bought Denny's. The economic profile of Denny's core customer has also shifted in ways the company cannot easily solve. The diner demographic. Working-class families, road trippers, people who wanted a real hot meal at a real table for under $15 is now the demographic being most squeezed by inflation. That Grand Slam breakfast has enough salt to push you well past your daily recommended intake before you even order the coffee. Denny's is not disappearing overnight, but when the chain that never closes starts closing, and when the company that buys it has already buried 2 other chains on the way, you know something real has changed. Number 4 is Olive Garden. Olive Garden is an interesting case because it is one of the biggest players on this list. It is not a chain on the verge of bankruptcy. It is a chain in the middle of a very slow identity crisis, which can sometimes be more dangerous. Parent company Darden Restaurants has been shedding locations and redirecting investment towards stronger concepts. Olive Garden's same-store sales have been softening. The endless breadsticks and never-ending pasta bowl built a loyal base, but trained customers to expect maximum value, which makes raising prices incredibly risky, and raise prices they have. A family of 4 at Olive Garden can now easily spend $60 to $80 before tip. For that price, people start looking around and asking whether they could do better. Usually the answer is yes. The brand is also fighting a perception problem that no marketing budget can easily solve. Olive Garden has been the punchline of the casual Italian dining joke for years. Nobody goes there on a first date. Nobody takes a food-minded friend there to impress them. It occupies this strange cultural space where people feel vaguely embarrassed to admit they enjoy it, which is not a great position for a brand trying to grow. Some pasta dishes push past 1,500 calories. The sodium in a single chicken Alfredo entree is enough to make a cardiologist put down his fork. Olive Garden is not falling apart in 2026, but it is drifting. And drifting brands in a tough economy tend to drift in one direction, downward. Number 3 is Burger King. Burger King has been trying to find itself for the better part of 2 decades. The Whopper is still on the menu. The Flame Broiler is still in every kitchen. The Crown logo is still on every bag. And the gap between Burger King and McDonald's, which was already significant, has been growing every single year. Restaurant Brands International, the Canadian private equity firm that owns Burger King, has been pushing a remodel program called Reclaim the Flame. Billions pledged to renovate locations, improve marketing, and close underperforming stores. The problem is that the stores being closed are real restaurants in real communities, and the ones being remodeled are not seeing the traffic lifts that justify the investment. In 2025, Burger King closed hundreds of locations globally. Franchisees in multiple markets walked away from the brand entirely. The profitability gap between a Burger King franchise and a McDonald's franchise has become so wide that the question of why anyone opens a Burger King instead is genuinely hard to answer. The customer experience has also suffered. Order accuracy at Burger King locations has consistently ranked below competitors. The digital ordering push has created friction for customers who just want a Whopper without navigating an app. A double Whopper meal with large fries and a large drink is sitting at over 1,500 calories and sodium levels that represent more than your entire recommended daily intake in a single sitting. Burger King is not in bankruptcy, but it is in a slow-managed decline that the people at the top are calling a turnaround because they have no other word for it. Number 2 is Wendy's. Wendy's made headlines in 2024 for the wrong reason. Dynamic pricing. The company announced plans to invest in digital menu boards that could change prices based on demand. The backlash was immediate and catastrophic. Customers called it surge pricing. Social media called it worse things. The company walked it back within days. But the damage was done, because the dynamic pricing story was not really about pricing, it was about trust. And Wendy's had just told its customers, the ones who were already watching every dollar, that the price of a Baconator might go up because it was busy. Same-store sales have been declining. International expansion has been slower than projected. The breakfast push that was supposed to be a major growth driver has not delivered the results the company needed. The fresh, never-frozen beef positioning, which genuinely differentiated Wendy's for decades, is now a line in an ad rather than a reason to choose Wendy's over anyone else. Because everyone has a freshness claim now. Everyone has a quality story. And when everyone has the same story, the story stops meaning anything. A large Dave's double combo with a Frosty sits at over 1,400 calories with sodium levels your body will be managing well into tomorrow. Wendy's is not dying, but it is losing ground to competitors on every front simultaneously, and losing ground on every front simultaneously, even slowly, is how you end up somewhere you cannot come back from. Number 1 is McDonald's, and yes, McDonald's. the most recognizable brand on the planet, the golden arches that more people can identify than any national flag, the company that serves 70 million people every single day, is in trouble. Not bankruptcy trouble, not closure trouble, but something in some ways more serious. McDonald's is losing the thing that made it McDonald's. Same-store sales declined in 2024 for the first time in years. The value customer, the person who used to walk in for a McDouble and fries and change back from a $5 bill, has been priced out. A Big Mac meal now costs between $10 and $18 depending on where you are in the country. That is not fast food pricing. That is sit-down restaurant pricing at a counter with a paper bag. A viral receipt from a McDonald's in Connecticut showed a Big Mac meal at $18. The receipt hit tens of millions of views. The comment section was brutal. People pointed out that for the same money they could eat at a real restaurant with a real table and a real server. McDonald's response was to announce a $5 value meal, a promotional offer, a temporary fix for a structural problem. Because the structural problem is this: McDonald's spent years raising prices to fund shareholder returns, stock buybacks, dividend payments, executive compensation, and in doing so, they disconnected from the customer they were built to serve. The E. coli outbreak in 2024, linked to contaminated onions in Quarter Pounders, killed one person and hospitalized dozens more. It accelerated a sales decline that was already happening and reminded customers that the supply chain behind those golden arches is longer and less visible than the logo suggests. A Big Mac meal with large fries and a large drink sits at over 1,100 calories and enough sodium to account for nearly your entire daily recommended intake. McDonald's is not falling, but it is stumbling. And when McDonald's stumbles, the whole industry feels it. Because if the most powerful fast food brand on earth cannot hold its own customers, the customers it built an empire on, then the question for every other chain on this list becomes very simple. What chance do they have? The moment a chain decided to shrink your portion, raise your price, and maintain the same mediocre experience, the loyalty contract was broken. You did not walk away. You were pushed. Hit subscribe, leave a like, and comment what brand we should explore next.